As a new entrepreneur with ADHD, it's not the tangible skills of creating products or email lists or even videos that causes delays and causes issues in me actually achieving my goals. I'm realizing the gap of knowledge is not the skills, but it's staying organized. It's my time management and staying on track of things. And that has always been a struggle for me. When I've worked a traditional job in the past, as much as I hate it, it has added this structure of this is kind of what your days are like. You have this set start time, you have this set end time, and you show up and you build your life around that. As a creative person with so many interests and someone who struggles to focus on the things I want to focus, the things that move the needle, I've realized that to get from point A to B, to get from where I am now, not bringing in much income, to wanting to bring in a full-time income, ideally plus, I need to work on those skills. I need to figure out how to build a routine for myself that is sustainable. So for the next 2 weeks, my goal is to get better at time management. It's to organize my days and plan. And this has really overwhelmed me a lot in the past because it feels hard. It feels like, why am I trying to put myself in a square hole when I don't want a traditional job? But at the end of the day, if I don't have some sort of structure, I'm not going to get to my goals. I can create list after list after list of things I need to do and what I want to do in a day. But it's that overarching structure that's going to get me from point A to point B. So with that in mind, I've set the goal of, every 2 weeks, I'm going to be practicing something. And this week it's practicing sticking to a schedule. And I turned it kind of into a SMART goal. So I got specific. I figured out how I'm going to measure it. Cats, gotta love them. Is what I'm setting up for myself, is it legitimately achievable? And I set up a time frame. I forget what the R is, but I think it was relevant. And yes, this goal is relevant. So what does my day look like? Well, something I have been doing is, over the last year, kind of tracking my energy flows and learning about myself, when I have energy to do what, when I get those, mid-afternoon spazzies like my cat seems to be having right now. And so I took the time to write all that out, right? When I have what kind of energy. I know I only have focus energy for some parts of the day, and I'm trying to build a schedule that will get me to my goal while still working with that, because my major goal for my business is to build something that is long-term sustainable and not built on burnout, because that's how I've tried to build businesses in the past. This isn't, the first time I've wanted to do this, but I'm lucky to right now be in the position where I have the supports to actually legitimately start this business. Part of that is I got into an entrepreneurship program, which helps give a little financial stability. So I can dedicate 35 hours a week to this, which seems overwhelming, but in a good way, at least with how I plan to structure. So my big project today is, working on creating the 2-week plan for myself. And in order to see if my time management and my organization is, working, I am committing to this for just 14 days. And I specifically decided that because a month feels too long, whereas just 1 week, I don't really think is long-term measurable to see if it's actually working. So I said, we'll do this for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I can swap the schedule around if, I'm finding something's not working. But for now, we're going to try this for 2 weeks. And I know it's going to be working. The measurement will be doing 80% of this. So that means, ticking off my boxes 5 out of 7 days, or most of them, for 5 out of 7 days. And if you want to know a little more about what that looks like, it's having a set wake time at 7 a.m. And in that first hour, trying to be off my phone, with the exception of putting on like a mindfulness audio or a small meditation or maybe some music that I can move to. It's making sure to eat, because I've really been struggling with the eating, forgetting to eat, not wanting to put in the effort. Can be really hard when you're ADHD, and it just seems like more effort to make the food than it's worth. And I know that impacts my focus. So that's something I'm working on, improving on. I'm taking care of my pets and doing some sort of movement. So taking the dog outside for not a 30-minute walk. I was going to say 30-second. A 5-minute walk, or dancing to a song in the kitchen, or doing a few stretches. And that's going to be my first hour before work, because I think that's really going to set me up for success. My first official hour of work is going to be from 8 to 9, and it's going to involve not being on technology, again, with the exception of maybe putting on music. Because first thing in the morning, I love coming up with ideas. I find that if I'm starting my day brainstorming and planning and working in my notebook, again, that's something that sets me up for success. And I know this because I've practiced. I have notebooks of me recording, like just full of me recording what I do on my days. And the days where I do that, I feel better. I do things more that I'd like to be doing. And so that's going to be what that next hour is. It's brainstorming, it's writing things down in my notebook, it's planning for the day. And then I'm going to actually get back into writing. So I'll be doing that after. That's my next little block of time. I'm going to, set it up for 15 to 30 minutes. And whether it's me writing an article, whether it's me writing a little bit of fiction or a poem, really the goal with that over the next 2 weeks is to just get back into it, because writing is something I've always loved, and I've really fallen away from that. I think a large part of that was me putting pressure on myself to write articles to get paid for it. And so while that might be fun to do 1 or 2 days a week, I really just want to bring back that joy of writing so that I can get back into the flow of it. After that, I'm going to have a good solid hour and a half chunk of project work, and that's going to vary day to day. One day it might be working on creating my official business plan. Another day it might be setting up my email list. And with all project work, I'm going to assume that it's going to take longer than I expect it to take. I am definitely somebody who has a lot of time blindness. So I might say a project's only going to take half an hour. And then I put that pressure on myself that I have to have this done in half an hour. And if I don't, I'm failing. That's not true, but that's one of the stories that I've repeatedly told myself. And so giving myself extra time, if I think something's going to take an hour, it's going to be the whole hour and a half block, and, chip away, make it feel actually achievable. And then if I finish early, that's amazing. That's a win. That's success. But the plan is to give myself ample time so that I can do the things I want to do. And I think a big part of where that has come from is with this entrepreneurship program. They give you 10 weeks. The first 10 weeks are just prepping your business. It's writing the business plan. It's preparing to launch. You're not even launching yet. And the fact that they give you 10 weeks to do that was a little eye-opening for me, because I'm like, oh, every time I've done a business before, I've been like, oh, I can get ready. I can launch. I should be ready to launch in 2 weeks. And if I haven't done absolutely everything to launch in 2 weeks, I'm failing. And then it puts so much pressure that I just don't even want to do it and give up before I try. And, this year we're building it right. We're building it from a place of regulation. We're building it from a place of not burnout. And so chipping away just an hour and a half of deep work, project work a day is going to be good for me. After that, an hour break where I'm going to move, I'm going to eat, I'm going to spend time with my partner, I'm going to spend time with my very, very hyperactive pets. And then after, which is the phase I'm in right now because this is the first day of this official schedule, I'm filming a YouTube video. I'm scheduling 1 to 3 social media posts, and I'm taking that time. I'm slotting it in because one of my goals is to show up in video and on social media how I want to, in a way that's helping myself, but also my target audience. And talking about these things, about what I'm doing, is also a way to help keep me accountable. And if you need that accountability, please drop it in the comments and I can create this kind of video more often, talking about what I'm actually doing, and hopefully that helps. I'm also open to suggestions. So, if this sounds like something that would be useful and helpful for you, please do let me know. It might be fun to just do a weekly update on, hey, let's see next Tuesday how my schedule is going. Anyway, moving on. I have given myself a full hour to do YouTube videos and social media. Most of my YouTube videos as of right now tend to be less than 15 minutes, but this one's probably going to be a little bit longer. And that's also okay. Something that is very important is having flexibility. So while I'm giving myself a concrete schedule, if I have to tweak some things around because I have meetings or a training or therapy, I will. But the goal is, again, to do this for a majority of most days. So after my filming, my next goal is to, for 30 minutes, take care of any emails, take care of any messages, try and stay on top of replying to comments, and just interacting. And I think specifically setting that into my schedule is going to help alleviate the need to be constantly checking throughout the day. My cat is just spazzing. I don't know if you're hearing him, but I hope you're entertained. Where was I? I also, quick side note here, I don't edit these videos. Editing just takes so much mental capacity, and I found that as I'm filming more, I'm getting better at speaking. I'm getting better at staying on topic, and it's a skill. It's public speaking. It's something you have to practice. And when I add the pressure of having to edit, it takes, a video process of being, 30 minutes to record, get it published, get it up, create the cover image, to, 3 hours of work, because I'm like, oh, I have to edit out all the blank spaces and, add fun texts or background music or transitions. And that's just, it's not worth it to me. The videos where I haven't edited, it does better too. And given that I do have an older computer that runs a little slow and has a lot of stuff on it, it makes it really difficult to try and actually edit the videos. So I don't do that. Side tangent over. Anyways, after I've taken my 30 minutes to reply to messages, that way I'm not doing it all day throughout the day. It's, afternoon time where I have noticed that I don't have as much capacity to be doing hard work, to be doing really concentrated, thinky kind of work. Again, that's the stuff that I would be doing during the morning in my project block, which writing emails at email lists for subscribers, or creating my website, or working on my business plan. So in this afternoon, I might, listen to an audiobook or watch some training videos, because I do have some of those. Or I, will do a little bit of research, because by education, I'm a library student. I went to become a library technician. And so I do really love research. My friends call it gnoming, me just finding information. Why gnomes? I don't really know, but that's what we go with. So, this next block of time is to be listening and kind of passively watching those training videos or audiobooks, or, you know, if it's a lower capacity day, just a fun audiobook. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to be actually creating art, doing the things with my hands, because that really is my big passion. That is, you know, one of the cornerstones of this business I am trying to build, is around art and selling my art. And, you know, in order to do that, I have to do more art, which I really do love. It definitely helps to keep me calm and bring me peace. So making sure to block that in and incorporate that in my days is very, very important for me. And by the time we come to 3 p.m., I'm kind of done work for the day. My goal in the evenings is to, as we're chilling and watching, you know, movies or TV shows, which is how my partner and I spend a lot of our evenings, you know, to try and get at least 1 hour of art in the evenings, because again, I enjoy it. A lot of the forms of art I can do just sitting on the recliner while we watch a show without having to worry. And since we're doing that for a few hours, I might as well get an hour of art in and have fun with that instead of playing a mindless game on my phone. Now, there'll still be mindless game playing on my phone, but as long as I'm incorporating a bit of art, I know I will feel better. And before bed, it's setting things up for tomorrow. So bringing the laptop from our bedroom, which is where we watch TV. We don't have an actual TV, we watch it on the laptop. But bringing that into my office space, you know, tidying up if I still need to do a little bit of that, setting up my notebook. That way, when I wake up in the morning, I can just hop right in and, you know, make things easy. So that's kind of what I've got. You know, practicing this daily schedule and having the goal of sticking to it for 2 weeks. That's my time frame, just 2 weeks. I do think I am capable of it. And I think for a very long time I've told myself I am not, that I can't, that it's too difficult, that I don't have enough concentration, and all these other sorts of hiccups that have, and mental blocks that have kind of kept me where I'm at. So this is really just an exercise in learning to work through that, push through that. Have I planned a little more than I necessarily wanted to on, you know, doing this fancy schedule? Maybe a little, but it was my project work for today. And I think, at least for the time being, if I can have something that's pretty and visual that I can come and refer to and look to, it really is going to help. So I'd love to share, like, talk about it in the comments, like if organization or time management is that thing you're struggling with, especially as somebody who is neurospicy or wanting to become an entrepreneur, start a side hustle or a business, or just, you know, build a sustainable life for you, whether that's with a business or just in general. Like, what are some of the things you're doing? Do you think you would try any of these tips? And most importantly, do you know what your energy flows look like throughout the day? I had to learn that before I could try implementing anything else. Because if I don't learn that first, if I don't understand how I work, no matter what I try, it's likely going to fall short. It's likely going to not work long-term and sustainably. So building my schedule based around how I work and how my brain works, I really hope is going to be the game-changing piece. If you found this helpful, please do subscribe. I definitely will be sharing more content like this. And thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and I'm grateful you exist. See you in the next video.